Hey, it has nothing to do with
Good luck.
It's a small table.
Hey, flag, let's party start to drink. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for all the many blessings you give us each and every day. We just pray, Lord, you make us aware of the things that we often take for granted, Lord, especially each other. Lord, you said you cause it to rain on the just as well as the unjust, which means that you don't hold back just because of ill feelings or anything else. Help us to learn from that, Lord. I pray that you be with this meeting today, all of our township leaders, give them the wisdom to fulfill the duties they have today. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, announcements and correspondence. Just a little tidbit. If you are planning on speaking during the public comment portion of the meeting today, please take a moment now. If you haven't done it already, sign on the sheet in the back counter. Do we have any announcements or correspondence?
I'll turn this in for correspondence. That came in the mail yesterday. John in my house for some reason. It's a liquor permit.
Oh, I don't know, I have it too.
Okay.
Who's it for?
This is for sheets.
Sheets.
Okay.
So, but it came to my house certified mail, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know why I got it too.
Okay.
I don't know. Thanks.
Anybody else?
Also, one other thing on here, John, you weren't CC'd on this, but we got an email late last night. Morton Salt, we're behind 90 days on payment. So I can forward it over to you. But they sent it to Kirsten back on May 17th. And they're wondering
Oh, no, I don't see that part of it. Have we, are we waiting on any deliveries from them at all?
No.
Is it the extra?
It could be.
It might be we didn't order all of our salt.
Yeah, it just says that we were like 90 days in arrears. And so they sent it to all the board members. So
That's
that's
why
why.
Kirsten was texting me. That was taken care of, she said.
Okay. I just sent it off too.
It's probably the extra salt because we didn't use it all this year. And they bill you by April, I think is when they do that. So I don't know, that's not 90 days, but she took care of it already.
Okay.
Well, I have some good news for the county, for all of us here. Anyway, I sit on the Portage County Land Revitalization Corporation, and that's called Portage County Land Bank. So I have their annual 2023 report, but they also sent me this real nice letter. And in this letter, they have 3 bullets, and I'd like to share it so you can see how effective this works for our township and for our Brimfield too, because we've used this program different times. There is a program within the state for land banks, and it's called Welcome Home Ohio Program. We received $780,000 application to expand affordable home ownership opportunities. Number 2, there's called a Brownfield remediation program. Sorry about that. We received $1 million application to address environmentally impacted commercial and industrial sites in an effort to keep them financially viable and better positioned for future development. And as an example of that, we had an abandoned filling station over in Ravenna. And the land bank, through their grants and people they work with, they were able to restore that, clean up that site, and now that corner has been sold for development, which will bring in tax dollars to the county. Number 3, building demolition and site revitalization program, 1.2 million application to address the negative impacts of vacant and abandoned properties and clear the way for future economic growth. An example of that would be across the street from the Portage County offices, which is the old hospital, the old Robinson Hospital. They had a huge red brick factory there, and it's all completely a big rubble. They worked through the land bank and everybody else, and those monies now have gone into helping to bring that back to make it a taxable property for us. So it is very interesting to see that a lot of things go on behind the scenes that we as residents we're not aware of it. And I just want to let you know that this land bank is working for all of us. That's all.
Great, thanks, Sue. Okay. Any more meeting guests, any other scheduled guests? Minutes, I'm gonna make a motion, I have reviewed the minutes. Assignment, what do you assign?
I will second the meeting minutes.
Those are the ones from May 13th.
May 13th. Yes, May 13th.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, agenda, do we have any additions, subtractions? All good? Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and approve the agenda. Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Passed.
Purchase orders, I have reviewed them, signed them. Need a second?
I'll second for discussion. The first one is, maybe Joe, you can give clarification. Are we still paying for internet at the fire department through Time Warner?
That was recently switched to AT&T fiber, so that will be canceled here this month.
Okay, so we still needed to make a payment.
Yeah,
Okay, because I thought we had canceled that already.
Yeah.
All right, so, because the invoice date is 5/14, so we had internet through Time Warner through 5/14.
yeah. I just wanted to overlap just in case there was something wrong with the AT&T. We could flow back to or switch back to Spectrum, but that'll be canceled here.
And then we also had a large bill from Deemer and Associates, but I had a specific question on a charge that was on there from 4/9. It says follow up on research, removal of township trustees, options for censor. I didn't speak to the attorney on that. John, do you know what that's for?
I had a question about that this morning. But I don't know what that is.
Do our other board members know what that was in reference to? Okay, and I think we need to, before we send that check, we need to follow up with him to see if it should be on there.
I requested from Holly this morning that next time he's in, I need to talk to him about some of the items out there as well.
Okay, yeah, because there's just a lot, and that bill was large.
That's what I said to Holly this morning.
Yeah, so it was over, I think it was over $7,000.
It was.
On the bills are large.
Yeah, but we have the prosecutor, which doesn't charge us $7,000, so that was my concern. So I would like to amend that motion to be approval with the exemption of paying the Deemer and Associate bill until it's been reviewed. That would be my amended motion, or maybe, that would be my motion to amend the motion.
Well, we didn't have one out there yet. We just had a first and a second. You just want to get rid of that one, Mike, and then you can make one? Nick, what's your motion?
To approve the purchase orders with the exemption of the Deemer and Associates bill till we get information on the removal of township trustee and options for censor.
I get a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. Warrants.
Okay, well, I have reviewed the warrants. I'm gonna make a motion that we accept them.
Second.
John, did we already cut a check? Do we need
Yeah,
to make
there's
that as
one
part of
out
this
there.
motion also?
I'm just going to pull that one out there because that's invalid now because we don't have a purchase order for it.
Okay, thank you.
Here's the roll call.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, now's the time for public comments, questions. Remember, please state your name before addressing the board. Make sure you signed up in the back. There's a 3-minute limit per person. And we're not going to be back and forth. You're going to make your comments to the board and then we'll record them and get your answers down the road.
There's nobody signed in for a public comment.
Nobody signed in?
Nope.
Wow. I didn't apply. Okay, without safety concerns.
Question. I didn't sign. Do you want me to go back there and sign it? I just have a question.
Okay, well, we'll write you.
You know, has anybody looked at that where the gazebo is? I guess they're starting to put that stone in there.
Yes, I was stopped up and looked at it yesterday.
It looks like to me that that's an accident waiting to happen. somebody's gonna fall off of that, or the air
There's gonna be
conditioner's gonna get flooded out.
There's gonna be a rail
It's gonna be a railing.
on the top.
So is the
There's
gravel gonna be,
There's not, but we can respond to that later. We're not supposed to have dialogue during public comment. So we can, I can respond to that later in a section, but there is no railing there.
Can we take it off? I thought there was gonna be.
There's bushes. There's gonna be bushes.
That was what we did.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll
Sorry
get to
about
that when she brings it up in her report.
she's gonna bring it up in a report?
Yeah, the way that Robert's rules works for public comment is it's just supposed to be public comment. And then we can respond to it later or at the end of the session. But the way that public comment goes, it's just supposed to be commentary, not dialogue. Not trying to be difficult, that's just the rule, that's the way the Roberts rules are written.
So I can comment after you say. That's great.
Well, you would be able to comment next meeting, so if we respond to something today and you have further follow-up, you would need to do it either outside of the meeting or at the next public comment. We're just trying to keep things in alignment with Robert's rules to make sure that the meetings are structured and consistent.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, do we have any safety concerns? Okay, let's get to the meeting. Oh, Roy, you're up first.
Thanks, Mike. I just have a couple of informational updates for the board this morning. Follow up to the May 18th OVI checkpoint we held on State Route 4376 area. It was facilitated by OSP with us in partnership with them and also PCSO. We ran that from 10 p.m. to midnight. We had 413 vehicles came through the checkpoint. And we also had some saturation patrols around the area of the checkpoint. We ended up with a total of 4 OVI arrests out of that checkpoint event. So that's a good collaboration opportunity that we have with OSP. They're a good partner with us. Second item is an update on the Officer Wellness Initiative. I have received submissions for that. I've been on vacation over the past week. I've not yet had a chance to review that, so I'll be bringing that to the board at your next meeting to discuss the Wellness Initiative. And an update on our active shooter exercise. We had a meeting facilitated by EMA on May 17th, and our next meeting is scheduled for Friday, June 14th at the fire department. Don't have a hard date yet set for the exercise at the schools, but it's going to be sometime in the fall. And once we get that confirmed, I'll follow up with the board and let you know. So that's still an ongoing work in progress for all the parties involved with that. New business, just an update for you. Wanted to let the board know that Sergeant Matt Kennedy and Sergeant Jerry Dumont have been accepted in the OACP Police Executive Leadership College Program. That's also known as PELT, and they're going to be attending that program in 2025. That's a 3-week intensive program, so once we get both of them through that, all of the supervisors for the police department will have completed the PELT program. So just wanted to make the board aware of that. And other than that, that's all I have for you this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roy. Okay, Chief Mullally?
All right, updates only. Also, a resolution of necessity was approved by the auditor's office. If you remember, that's a resolution so we can run a 5-year EMS renewal levy. Brett Binns will now draft the resolution to proceed. I was hoping to have that this morning, but did not receive it yet.
I received one yesterday.
What's that?
I received one
Did you?
yesterday. Yeah.
So
So I'll get a copy of it to you. It was approved.
should we just wait? Can we approve it now then? Or
Well, they approved the ability to run the levy.
did they send you the resolution to proceed payroll?
I'm gonna have to read exactly what it was.
Okay, I will bring it next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. We have plenty of time, so I'm just was waiting on that. We attended the Memorial Day service. That went great. I don't know who all was involved, but thank you. It went well to whoever planned all that. The stone wall has been started around the gazebo area. Just an FYI, if you want to look at that. I'm still gathering information on the additional ambulance for the FD. Hopefully in the next couple of months, I'll have something to propose. Yeah, just waiting on the main manufacturer that we deal with to get back to us. So, and then I attached a call volume report, really down at the bottom. It's just showing our last 5 years increase. I would encourage feedback if you want something more than that, but I'd like to give those quarterly.
I thought it was very nice,
So
informative.
if you want something more than that, please let me know. And that's all I have.
picture of the fire truck.
Okay, all right, I'll add that too.
No, it's fine. Thank you for doing that.
I'll comment real quick since this is on Craig's agenda, that stone wall. So there will be bushes on the top of the stone wall. There were discussions on whether it needed a railing, but the way the architect designed it is there's gonna be tall bushes at the top of the stone wall, so no one could cross
Well, at least it's
over.
not a big fall, because now, it's great, it's like I said.
Tier, yeah, it's like stepped down, but they will be planting bushes at the top, so that would be the barrier that people wouldn't try and jump down or.
Thorn bushes would be great.
Pardon, thorns.
bushes would be great.
And Mike, it was supposed to be like a barberry style
Yeah.
bush.
Keep people out of it.
Discourage them
Yeah.
from trying.
Holly bushes would.
I know, those are prickly too.
I'm just glad they're finally started.
Yeah, it should be done, this week. They
Yeah,
should be
you said
finishing it.
Couple more days.
I just like to take the opportunity real quick to thank the fire department staff that was at the Memorial Day event for stepping in with the flag ceremony for
Yeah,
us. and kind of
we have
working
improvised.
on the improvisation for that, so thank you to those
Yeah,
staff members,
no
I
problem at all.
appreciate them.
Well, thank you. Okay, Andy.
All right, updates, we had posted the zoning commission alternate position. We received 5 applicants. We'll be conducting interviews and bringing the recommendation to the next trustee meeting. We have not scheduled those interviews yet, but we'll be bringing that to the next meeting. Board approval to hold a bid opening meeting at 7:45 on June 12th, that's our 7:40, for the new driveway and parking lot for McGuire Park.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we hold a bid opening on June 12th at 7:45 a.m.
I'll second that.
for the new driveway and parking lot for McGuire Park.
Is that before the next trustee meeting?
Right.
All those in favor? Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passes.
New business, so when working with our new benefits broker, Marsh McLennan, we completed a benefits audit and have a list of items that either need more explanation or need revisions to be compliant. So the target is, but within a year, to ensure all the items listed that may be potential compliance issues, ensure that they're compliant. Yes.
How much does it cost the township to use this Marsh McLean program?
Nothing.
Doesn't cost us anything?
It doesn't cost us anything for the benefits broker.
They're compensated out of our commissions, our premiums.
We have a contract, it's something with the healthcare companies that they get payment for their services, but the township themselves does
that's
not
good.
pay for them, yeah.
Thank you for finding that.
Yeah, and the audit is just part of their package. They have a lot of great services that they can provide to us.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I need board approval to enroll with Sedgwick for the Ohio Workers' Compensation Group Rating Program for policy year January 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. The annual fee for that program is $5,085.
I'm gonna make that motion. I need a second. Approval to enroll Sedgwick for Ohio Workers' Comp Group Rating Program for policy January 1st, 2025.
Nick should probably abstain.
Yeah,
Sue,
I'm gonna be abstaining from this.
can you second, Sue?
I'll second that with the understanding that Nick works for the Bureau of Workers' Comp.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Abstain.
okay, motion passes.
This is a good program. Let's get into it. Okay.
All right, next item. So last year, the General Assembly enacted amendments to the statutory provisions governing the public safety answering points, the 911 systems. One change is that there now be a 911 program review committee to replace the 911 planning committee. The new 911 program review committee is to annually provide certain reports to the subdivision served by the county 911 system. The committee will continue to consist of a member of the Board of Commissioners and the chief executive from the most populous municipality, which is Kent, but now also will include a trustee from the most populous township, which is Brimfield, as well as a township trustee at large and a council person, as well as an elected official from within the county. So a member of the Board of Township of Trustees of the most populous township in the county is to be selected by a majority vote of that Board of Trustees. So you guys will need to nominate somebody for that committee and vote to have them join that. I believe they only meet once, I think it's once a year, I think is what she told me previously. So time commitment wise, you're probably looking at maybe 1 or 2 meetings a year.
I wouldn't mind sitting on that board as the
I'm
liaison.
gonna make a motion that we approve, we nominate Nick Boyle.
Fine with me.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next item, we need to renew the building lease for the zoning and economic development offices, the temporary offices. The terms of the agreement is that we would pay the landlord during the initial term rental of $700 per month. We are signing this contract on a month-by-month basis, so that when we're ready to move into the new town hall, we just have to give 30 days notice to get out of that, get out of that contract. So the tenant shall pay for their prorated share of charges for gas and electric. This is a new item in the lease. Includes the prorated portion of that building. Gas and electric utilities will be held in the name of the Dalzell agency, who shall be directly responsible to pay gas and electric. And then we'll reimburse the Dalzell agency on a monthly basis for 46.5% of the monthly total gas and electric. So that represents our share of the total square footage. So that side of the unit was split into 2, so it only has 1 meter. So in order to pay those utilities, somebody needs to pay them and get reimbursed. So the utilities will be in the name of the Dalzell agency. They'll give us the bill and we'll pay 46.5% specifically for gas and electric. So that is based on square footage leased by us. The rest of the utilities are paid for by the landlord. That covers it.
You went through this with Mark or?
I did, yes. I worked with Mark Detti on this.
Okay.
So I think for discussion, we gotta at least have a motion.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and approve the $700 per month with the remaining stuff in there.
So
I need a second.
I'll second for discussion.
Okay.
So what is our current monthly lease for that half of the unit is 500?
500 plus utilities, yes.
And was it less than that before? Were we at 400 per month at one point? I was trying to find that information, and I know we
Well,
went
we
back.
just had one office.
Okay, so when we took it over to multiple offices, it went to 500, which included utilities. Now we're paying 500 plus the utilities.
Correct.
So I don't have anything showing. I think there was discussions, but looking here, since 2019, that space was $500 a month plus utilities.
Well, that's
It
when
included utilities initially.
It did not.
The contract always said that we paid the utilities for the unit.
That unit, no. It did not. It changed.
So that one changed.
Correct. Because of
Because the other one, we're still in that.
unusage for employees on one side of the building.
Right.
So
Yeah,
now
so
it's set up that the Dalzell agency picks up all the utilities there, and my rent's actually more than the township pays there.
So originally the utilities were not included. There was a term in the lease that gave the landlord an option if utilization was high or exorbitant bills to pass that along to the township. So one of the reasons we were working with the attorney on this is just how that whole process was in place. But in 2019, we were paying $500 per month plus utilities.
And so now we're going to 700 plus utilities.
Correct.
And the attorney is okay with Dalzell agency being the holder of the utilities and the fiscal officer transferring money back and forth to himself? I mean,
Well, my suggestion was that I'm paying all of it for Brimfield, and saying I'm paying it. But I'll
So the
see
attorney
it.
actually
I'm gonna
recommended
donate it back
that,
to Brimfield anyway.
the attorney actually recommended that the Dalzell agency pay the insurance instead of us paying it and getting paid by the Dalzell agency. So this design was actually recommended by the attorney.
I just thought the landlord would pick it up and then he'd divvy it so that only because it just has that appearance of conflict between fiscal officer. and
No, I'm paying it all. I'm paying it all, and if you guys want a reimbursement, giving it back to the township. So the township's not gonna be paying it.
So the landlord does not pay, the landlord has two options. You either include the utilities as part of your rent, and there's no individual billing, or you have it separate. So he would either increase the price and we'd pay utilities, that it doesn't work because we share a meter. So it was the recommendation of the attorney, there was conversation on, should we pay it in advance and get reimbursed by the Dalzell Insurance Agency or vice versa? And his recommendation was the Dalzell agency pays for it, gives us the bill, and then that percentage is based on square footage, and we reimburse him for that cost.
So he did say that we can reimburse the Giselle agents.
Correct, that was his recommendation to set it up
I
that
don't
way.
think we need to donate anything more, you've been donating enough over there.
He's not,
It is
yeah,
your equipment, so.
he's not allowed to pay the entire bill, that was, he did
There's
offer
no
that.
reason John should not get reimbursed for it.
I'm not saying, yeah, I'm not
And I
saying
mean,
that he
there's
should.
there's no problem with it going up $700, because we're basically on a month-to-month lease, you know, and so, I appreciate what Conway's doing.
Yeah, the
Working
price,
with us.
and the price seemed very reasonable, I mean, quite honestly, compared to, he shared with me a lot of the pricing models out there, and it's still very
I
reasonable.
mean, as a landlord, I mean, if I had a business like that, that really sort of sucks. Because, I mean, I'm gonna get a 30-day notice, and I gotta find someone to fill that space in 30 days. That's crazy.
He's
So
been, he's been
I'm
great, yeah, he's been great to work with, very patient and understanding as we continue to, delay our date, so,
So I appreciate what he's doing.
Yeah,
Also, we
he's-
can move them all over to the empty room at the library. And how much is that gonna cost us to get it all set up? Wouldn't you like one big office?
Yes,
That's
that'd be
what I'm
great.
trying to-
we love it.
We'll get you all cubicles. Okay, well, is there any more discussion, Sue? You got anything, Wayne?
No, I have no comment. I agree with it, with what the attorney recommended.
Yeah, I appreciate Conway for doing that.
Yeah, I think we need the rental space. I just had concerns about how it was being done. That was my statement.
Yeah, Mark was highly involved in this, he actually gave us the language for that section of the utilities, so he's been
John, I don't think you need to donate. I'm not telling you what you need to do.
I'm donating.
You've donated way more.
Donating for a point, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah, we fixed the share portion of the stuff being in my office that was township stuff. That was all corrected, now it's out of there. So there was unreimbursed stuff, just to make a point on that, that was in the township, or township used my space that I never charged for and did all that. So this is just a resolution to fix all that and stuff. So
That should have been, yeah, it should be separate.
Former employee, mining.
well, that's where Conway raised the rent. I raised the
Yes.
utilities. So
I'm just tired of you donating so much to this township.
all of those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
No,
motion passed.
Okay. Thank you, Holly, for putting this together, and for Mark, making sure it's legal. Okay, zoning.
Thanks, Mike. Our total fees to date are $115,184.60. New business, we had 3 businesses receive Grow Awards from Portage Development Board on May 21st. Sue Fields and I were present to congratulate Voice Machine, which had 14 jobs created/retained. Blazing Systems, which had 15 jobs created/retained, and Balance Sheet, which had 5 jobs created and retained. So we want to congratulate them. Pride One Apartment Homes on Town Square Drive. Plan on starting a 103-unit complex in the next couple weeks. I have a pre-con after this meeting to meet them on the job site. Zoning certificates are paid. The TIF is complete and will benefit the town center with sidewalks, lighting, and paving. Report on abandoned land was completed on Martha Road for the land bank. You guys will probably hear some future plans with that later. And we have 8 new homes and 103 apartment homes permitted so far this year. And then I went over our fees already. That concludes my report.
No big surprises here, huh?
Not yet.
Okay, thanks. Dave,
Yeah, some old business, trustees, I had you guys sign the book for the paving project for Cardinal Asphalt for the Portage Commons and Highway View project. Thank you. Get that moving along. We started road mowing. The tree work on Saks Road is completed now. We've cut back about 30 to 40 trees. New business update, we're gonna try to start dirt patching whenever the weather permits us to get out there. We're gonna start doing some ditching and berming for the paving and chip and seal projects and the developments and the roadways, get everything ready to go. Just an FYI, the railroad crossing, there'll be a closure on Newton Road effective June 3rd to the 17th. I'm sorry, June 3rd to the 10th. Read the wrong thing on that. They're replacing asphalt and stuff around the railroad tracks and the Talmadge side, so our side of the roadway will be blocked off too. So that the residents can get to their homes, that stuff. And just another FYI, June 6th, 17th through the 24th, I'll be on vacation with my grandkids. And that concludes my report.
And I think you need to turn your phone off, tell them you're on vacation, and between John, I, and Holly, whoever, we can keep an update on things.
I'm working on that kind of stuff.
You need to take a break, a real break. So you can drink too many Long Island iced teas and sit there in the sun.
We're working.
Work harder. Hey, what they got, they're gonna mow the sled riding hill, right?
Yes. There's a couple of really soft spots there.
Yeah.
And we've mowed before. We just don't want to destroy the side of the hill.
Yeah, and then I think they need to mow the dog park. You're not gonna be able to find that crapola.
Well, the thing is, they did, but I had a few guys off last week when I was
Okay.
off and they didn't get everything mowed. So everything will be mowed back up this week. So.
Good, so, okay, well, thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Anyone else have any questions for Dave? All good? Park and Rec?
Hi, good morning. I just have some informational items for you today. Under old business, we are just preparing for our summer programs right now. There's quite a few coming up. And of course, we're doing a lot of Brimfest planning. That'll be here before we know it. And then new business.
You're putting these on Facebook, right?
Yes, yeah.
These are great.
That'll go out this Friday. So our July-September program guide will be available. We're going to do one last proofread, and then we'll put it out by the end of this week. And then upcoming programs, we have 2 programs on June 1st. We have a National Trails Day hike from 9 to 10:30. Oh, that should say a.m., not p.m., sorry, at McGuire Park. And then we also have pond dipping from 11:30 to 1:30.
And what's that?
That's where you get nets and dip in the pond and pull up macroinvertebrates and frogs and things like that and examine cool things in the pond. And we have cool microscopes too that we'll look at stuff under.
And that's gonna be over there.
Yes, yep. Yeah, we're doing back-to-back programs at McGuire so we can.
How's the lake looking?
Very good, very nice. Yeah, they started work on that. I just got the receipt for it, so.
So you can tell the difference?
Yes, it looks very nice.
They did put mud tablets in, right?
They did, yep. Yep. And then we have on June 5th, Reptiles of Ohio at 1 p.m. here at Lions Park. And then our summer concert series is all booked up. So all the concerts will be Fridays at 6 p.m. at the Brimfield Historical Society unless otherwise noted. So on Friday, June 21st, we have Kuiper and Company. Friday, July 12th, we have Time Machine Band. Saturday, July 20th, we have Mr. Jeff, the children's musician returning, and that's at 10:30 a.m. And then on Friday, August 9th, we have Off the Charts. And then Thursday, August 15th, we have Boomers 330 at Lions Park, and they are sponsored by Hometown Bank. And that concludes my report.
Cassie, is the parking lot completely finished and drivable now for the soccer fields?
Yes, it is.
So did they get it striped already too?
Yeah. Yep. And we got an extra parking space. I don't know if you heard about that, but somehow we have 51 now.
Take it in spot. Where are we at on the field prep for fall soccer? Because I know that starts at the end of July. Is it
Yeah.
seeded and ready to go?
I have a meeting with Field Source this week to proceed with that.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you think we'll meet that deadline?
That's what we're gonna discuss, how we wanna go about it. There's a couple different options that I'm gonna present to the board at the next meeting. So it depends really how in-depth we wanna go with it.
We gotta get on that.
Yeah, because season typically starts the last week of July.
Yeah.
It's usually when they start up the practice fields.
Yep.
So, and I know there are almost 300 kids for spring, so I would anticipate over 5,500 kids probably in the fall.
Yeah,
So they'll be looking for spaces to go.
okay,
We're gonna have it ready by the next meeting.
yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's getting thicker. I mean, I was over there looking at it. So, I mean, it's still, them not being on, it's definitely open.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you, Jesse.
Mhm.
Joe?
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is last week I installed a pan tilt zoom camera on the southwest corner of the fire department on the second story. The purpose of this camera, it has real good optics, good zoom capabilities. It's to cover the Talmadge Road 43 intersection to give us better clarity of accidents or what's going on in that intersection, or the surrounding area if there's something going on. That camera is accessible from both the fire department staff and police department. So both of our safety forces will have access to that camera and then be able to review footage if something was to happen there. So it's, it was part of the original plan in the fire station build. Initially, the cost of the camera was a little prohibitive for the initial install. The company has put the camera on sale, and we had a minor accident at that intersection that prompted me to see what the cost was, and I found out that the camera is currently on sale. It was originally a $2,000 camera, which is why we held off on it, and it's currently on sale for $800. So it was a significant savings to buy the camera. So I got that up last week. I gave the information to Captain Atkins yesterday on how to access it. And yourself, Rory. If you have any issues getting into it, just let me know. But I think it works out really nicely. You can zoom in and see, stationary vehicles. You can zoom in and see license plates, and it's a pretty nice camera.
I just wanted to ask you on that subject. Are we still in the top 10 statewide for that intersection being a high accident area?
I don't know the statistics on that. I don't know if that would be.
I mean, it's one of the higher ones. It's not as high as 43 and Old Forge. That's at the top of the list right now.
Oh, that's where they're putting in,
No, there's nothing scheduled yet for Old Forge and,
okay, I heard they've been talking about it for years.
yeah, that's the highest, I believe. So.
Thank you.
Okay. The next thing I have under new business is I've worked with Holly and looked at some of our other surrounding areas. And you guys have a copy of this. We've put together a social media policy to kind of put our social media in alignment with how other cities kind of use their social media. The idea is to kind of control who has access to it, make sure that the township is operating with one voice instead of having multiple people having access to our social media. We want to kind of funnel that through Holly and myself. So that way we're making sure we have clarity. We don't have multiple people chasing down the same issue. We're keeping everything straight. We're also going to be moving the administration, the owner of the page, away from an elected official to myself and Holly. So that way the page belongs to the township.
And so you'll just handle the posting?
Yes. So Holly and
Somebody
I
wants
posts will funnel to us, and then we will make the post. The department heads will be able to maintain their own page if they elect to have one, or obviously for emergency posts, our chiefs will still have access to the page. So if there's some form of urgency that needs to go out, they will have access to that as they do today. If they feel that, there's something that needs to be posted immediately, they don't have to go through Holly and I. They would do exactly what they're doing today because that is what we want them to do. So that's kind of what I've proposed and worked with Holly on, is trying to make sure our social media is more of a, being operated like a township page.
Like a government page.
Yes, yeah, so it's the township that is using the page, not speaking as an individual.
Yeah, because back in the day, remember when you started that, this was all relatively new.
Right.
And,
The township has matured a lot since the page was created, and it needs to be adjusted to catch up with the times.
so you think I should put a motion, should probably put a motion? You should. So this will be effective what?
Well, we made it effective today on the policy.
So I'm gonna make a motion, May 29th, 2024, that the township page will be administered by Joe and Holly.
Yeah, what we put is the business manager and director of IT. That way, it's not a person; it's a position.
Just to approve the social media policy.
Right. Whoever is the business manager and the director of IT would have those rights.
Okay, that'll take a lot of that. I mean, and that way you guys can make sure we're not doing something wrong before it's posted.
Correct.
I know I've had problems before, so okay, I'm gonna make that motion. I need a second.
I'll second that motion for discussion.
Okay.
And one of the questions I have is all of our other townships around here, do they also have media policies? Have you researched?
A lot of our townships around here don't have the office structure we have. They're not as formal. We're kind of in that, as discussion on other topics, we're kind of in this gray area where we are operating like a city, but we're not a city. If you look at Suffield, theirs is operated by a trustee because they don't have the staff. They don't have a business manager. They don't have an IT person. So they don't, there's some of what you guys have when you created the page. You didn't have the people that would be running the page. So I kind of had to lean towards our surrounding cities to look at a policy. And in that case, it is ran by either a marketing person, which we don't have. We have Holly, who kind of does everything. And then, their IT department has access to it for, administration purposes. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from, is I'm looking at our surrounding cities because those are the ones that are going to have these policies, whereas townships don't have the staff. We kind of do.
I would say outside of townships, most organizations have someone who's responsible. So as Joe was saying, either communications department or marketing. So it's very typical that in most organizations, it's not just open to a handful of people for posting. It's usually limited. So if somebody wants to post something, they just share that information with the page admins and they get it posted that way. Just controls it.
I just have concern with that. I think that this, we are still a township. We can keep comparing ourselves to cities. It's the small township feel. It's the ability of the trustees to utilize their social media to communicate with the public, keep them up to date, and just share the happenings. That's what makes Brimfield. And honestly, I'm going to be very blunt about this. I'm disheartened to see that we spent time building a social media guideline policy when we have an HR manual that's been asked for over a year, and we're going to dig time into this. I don't think we're using our time wisely here. I don't. And it's just, this is just another piece that I think will be coming down the pike with some comments that I'll have later. But, there's no reason that we as Board of Trustee members should not have access to that page to be able to share.
Oh, we still have access to that page.
So I can get on there and give an update when I see something happen and hey, here's some information, here's an event that we have. But I got to call Holly. So is Holly going to be on call 24/7 to slot and post that on a weekend? I just think we're censoring the ability of our elected officials to do a good job for our community, to do what we're here to do. We're paid a salary to do things for our community and not just to continue to hand stuff off. And honestly, I'm disheartened by this. And then, to see this just brought to our board meeting today, it wasn't brought to my attention. I don't know if the other board members were made aware of this, but, I wasn't made aware of this until I walked in this morning. So to have this on the agenda and make this change like this quickly, I'm against it.
Well, I mean, there's been talk about this for weeks. I mean, I go up and I meet with our department heads and talk to people. And I mean, that's how I find stuff out. I mean, I can't help it that you can't make time to go up and meet our township employees.
I meet with people on the phone when I talk with them. I check in with the department heads that I'm liaison to.
But I mean, you got Fridays off. I don't know why you can't stop up.
I have Fridays off. Who said I have Fridays off? I think Chairman, you are making assumptions again that you don't need to make.
I'm not,
Mr. Chairman.
well, if I
Mr.
made
Chairman, I have the floor and I am speaking. I'm asking you to let me have the floor during my time under Robert's Rules of Order. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your interruptions, but I ask that you not do that. I do communicate with us, but this is just one of many other times in which policies, procedures, plans change that happen behind closed doors, and it's got to stop. This has got to change in our community. We are a township. We are not a city. We are about being with the people and for the people. And that's my concern, and I just don't think this is right. We spent time on social media guidelines when we don't even have an updated HR policy to support our department heads when they need to deal with HR-related issues because our policies are outdated. That's my concern. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Have a good day.
Okay, and number one, I don't like you ever accusing any of us of backdoor policies. I mean, one trustee can meet with whoever they want.
You can, but you can't meet and then meet with somebody else to share the information and pass it back and forth through a
I
secondary
don't
channel.
share it back and forth. I
That's
try
fine.
to keep myself informed.
Okay.
And the only way I can keep myself informed is by talking to department heads.
And that's fine.
And if that's your choice not to go talk to department heads, that's not my fault. So I think the issue is with you. I mean, I know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. And some things, and a lot of things.
I think I know what's going on and more things than you do too, Mr. Chairman. So if you want to keep making accusations.
I'm
we
not
can-
making accusations. I'm just saying what I see as one trustee.
There's,
And as you tell everyone, well, you're a citizen too. I'm allowed to speak my voice too. Don't
You're right.
censor me.
yeah,
because
don't
you're-
censor me.
Because you don't agree with me.
Maybe your comments should go before the ethics board. I mean, that was your last comment the last time I had something to say publicly. So, and you put it in writing, so if the public would like to see it, I'd be glad to share that information.
So if I could respond to a couple items, the amount of time that was spent drafting this policy was probably, I know for myself, about 15 minutes. I can't speak for Joe. This would not be included in the handbook. This is a policy on how we administer our page. So Joe and I have the responsibility of responding to everybody's comments and questions and all the posts out there. And the problem that we have is that all of a sudden, there'll be a random post that's out there. People start asking questions. All the information wasn't in the post. Joe and I didn't know that the post was up. The post comes down. The post has changed. So talking about the amount of time that we put on a guideline to help reduce the amount of fires that Joe and I are putting out because of random posts that go out that we don't even know about, to me is a better use of time, making sure that what we're doing is appropriate, structured, and consistent versus letting that go and us constantly putting out fires. So we can talk about how this came up or why it came up and the idea that there's closed door conversations. I don't want to be a part of that. This is a day-to-day thing that Joe and I deal with. Posts go up, information is shared, and oftentimes we don't even know that it's been put out there. And then we're left to respond to it. And I have to figure out if it doesn't show me on there, who posted it? What did they mean by it? Why did they post it like that? That's a lot of time that we don't have to put out fires on social media. Again, this would not be part of a handbook. This is more of an internal guideline to say, here's who's posting. Because it's very difficult for us to manage and respond when we're not the ones that are posting it or we're not the ones framing the message. So I do find that this is a good use of our time. I think that that's exactly what you would want us to do as leaders of the organization when there's an issue and we see things. I'm not even going to talk about cities and townships. The majority of organizations today do not allow all of the leaders of the organization to post on social media. It doesn't work like that. It's not a good idea to have that. You want to have branding. You want to have a consistent message. And you want people who are responding to be knowledgeable about what's out there. So you can take time to review this. We can delay it. We can talk about it. But this was something that Joe and I have been dealing with for quite a long time. And I think that it's in our best interest to deal with that instead of waiting for when it's convenient to address.
My concern, once again, is that this is a township, the community as elected officials to be represented as a township, to communicate with them, to provide information to them. And it's just an avenue for us that's not going to be there. And I have concerns with it, and I have the right to have concerns with that, to express those concerns. Thank you so much.
Completely understand, and I will just say I have all of my backgrounds in public sector experience. I have over 20 years of public sector experience working with public officials, not one other organization. I do realize it's a township, not a city or a county or otherwise, but not one of the public entities that I've worked for with elected officials allowed those elected officials to post. So times do change. We have staff to support this. We're not limiting it. You can still send us that. We post and respond continuously. But again, it's a means of controlling the messaging, ensuring it's consistent, and ensuring that Joe and I are knowledgeable about what's going out and controlling that.
John, what's your thoughts?
Well, it's my page. I could actually just shut it down if I wanted to, but
I thought we discussed that already because it's listed as a government page. You didn't have the authority to do that now. Even
But
though
it's-
you were the original admin, you registered it as a government page, therefore it's a government. piece.
still listed on your Facebook as John Gonzalez.
But it's listed as a government page. For Facebook to authorize
Sure.
it as a government page, you had to submit for approval as a government page.
Well, I agree. Nick, you have your own page that you post out on all the time anyway, so you can keep doing whatever you want with that. I actually caused a problem with this the other day because I put a stupid picture of the tornado out there, which I don't know how the hell Joe's Barbecue got brought into it, but it did. I was just putting it out there to have a picture of the tornado. That was it. I probably shouldn't have posted that. I probably should have just sent it to Holly and Joe and said, hey, this is a picture that we had. Do we want to put something out there? It caused all kinds of havoc, but that's one of multiple posts that have caused havoc like that. So the reason we've got extra employees here, and Joe even brought it up earlier, is that when we're smaller townships, the trustees and the fiscal officer have to do all this stuff. This job is way too big for part-time employees to handle all that situation. That's why we hire all these people, because it's a full-time job. I'm totally fine with them handling all that, so I don't have to be in the middle of it. I can give my information. If I want them to post something, they'll post it. So I don't see that being an issue. So that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, we do have a motion.
So, anything more?
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
No.
Motion passed.
So if we do have something important on the weekend, you could,
Send it to us, send me a text, I'm always available.
okay.
If there's something urgent that needs to get out, all you have to do is give me a call. I have a township phone, Joe has a township phone. Joe and I routinely, there'll be times after normal work hours where something needs posted, send us a text, give us a call, it'll be done within minutes.
Well, I know you've been very good at getting us, even on the weekend, if I have a question.
Yes.
So,
And if
Well,
it
you guys
becomes,
are
and if it
salary
becomes,
employees that are on call.
and if it becomes a problem, we'll reevaluate, but we are always available. We have our phones, and if there's something urgent that must be posted immediately, just give us a call and we'll take care of that.
okay, thank you. Okay, cemetery.
I don't have, it says there's deeds out here. Do you have?
And I left them in the office.
Okay. So we'll just have to pass that at the next meeting. We just table that.
Yeah, I was gonna see if some, yeah.
Okay.
That's-
Well, we could do, I think we could still do B.
Yep.
But we'll have to do the dates at the next meeting.
So we can table both of these, or?
Just one, just do A, or table A.
We'll table A.
We can
So,
do B.
so we'll table A. B, we have a resident who has bought multiple graves, from the cemetery. And, her original purchase price was the amount of $200 for one lot. I think she has approximately 4 or 5 lots. And she was asking if she could sell one of the lots back at the price that she purchased it. We don't have anything to address that in our policies. And speaking with Jenny, the cemetery sexton, I mean, the lot will be sold. So, we didn't internally have any concerns with selling it back. But we bring that before you today for consideration, if we would allow someone to allow the township to buy back a grave that's no longer needed.
I would like to make that motion that we refund her this $200. I know we have done it in the past for some of our residents, and I think we should, that's a past precedent. So I would be agreeable to,
And I will second that.
to give her that back at her request.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, fiscal.
I have a liquor permit that's on there, that's the one that they got as well. It's for Sheets. This is our request if we want to have a meeting with the Division of Liquor Control in Columbus. So I have to fill this out. We request a hearing on the advisability of the issue, the permit, and the request that the hearing be held in our county seat or in Columbus, or we do not request a hearing at all. So I'm gonna have to select one of those three.
I'm going to make a motion that we do not request a hearing.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
No.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, now is the time. We have our executive session. Do you have that paperwork? Okay, this date, 5/29/24, trustee Mike Stensky moved to convene an executive session person to Ohio Revised Code 121-22G for the purpose of considering the following matters: employment or compensation of a public employee official.
Wait, hold on one second, Mike, while you're in the middle of that. Can I have you redo your last on the liquor permit? It has to be in the positive.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we request a hearing on the liquor permit.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes?
You want a hearing?
No.
So no?
It's enough.
Sue?
Yes, I want to hear it.
Nick?
No.
Motion failed. Yeah, thank you.
I need to make a motion to get rid of the other motion.
If you just want me to pull it, we can do, well, yes, let's make a request, because you already have
The
the motion.
motion that we remove the previous motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed, so we'll be removed. Thank you, sorry about that.
Okay. And I will continue with this, except where otherwise provided by law. No public body shall hold an executive session for the discipline of an elected official for conduct related to the performance of the elected official's official duty or for the elected official's rules and laws. If a public body holds an executive session pursuant to provision G1 of this section, the motion and vote to hold that executive session shall state which one or more of the approved purposes listed in the division of G1 of this section are the purpose for which the executive session is to be held, but need not include the name of the person to be considered at the meeting.
Need a second, yeah.
Okay, I need a second?
I will second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed, we're moving to executive session at 8:58.
Are you gonna hold it upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Robotic servers. There's some restaurants that have robotic servers now.
Those little things that walk around with the food.
Yeah.
Well, at the casino, they have the little water guy, the little robot that walks around at the MGM. I saw it the other day. He's got water. He just walks around the whole place. Plays music.
You get some kids. Put some little vodka.
All right. Good? All right.
Okay, well, we're out of executive session.
All right, out of executive session, I'd like to make a motion to offer employment contingent upon passage of the state OPATA testing to Nolan Rumler as our newest patrolman for the police department.
Time was 9:16.
We don't have to do that. We just have to do it when we get out.
Okay.
We need a second.
I'll second that.
Everybody good?
Yeah, this is on recommendation of the chief, so we're all good with it.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Go ahead.
Bless you.
End the meeting.
I'm good. I'll make a motion to end the meeting.
Second.
Yeah, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
we are adjourned at 9:18.
Thank you.